Now recording.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the next episode of Roundtable Report. I'm your host, Shaylei.
And I'm Jazzy.
We have a special guest joining us today. Everybody, welcome back, Kaz. He was on a previous episode. He's going to be hanging out for us for a while. How you doing?
Hi, hello. I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Good. So, Jazzy, how are things?
You know, they're things. Rating's been going, and currently we're stuck on Rashok.
You guys are mythic, right?
Yeah.
Oh
But
boy.
So, but
So-
you know how it goes. Prog and stuff, waiting for everybody to figure out how the heck to do their job. But
Not standing stuff.
what? Well, I mean, you're asking a lot, Shay. Jeez.
I mean,
Not standing and stuff. Listen to you.
You are a tank. You're the one that's supposed to be taking all the stuff to the face.
Oh, I'm doing that. I am very much doing that. Rashok hurts.
That
Oh,
fight is wrecking our tanks, absolutely. Our tanks are usually the one thing I don't have to worry about, but on that fight, it's crazy.
I had to. This is like the first fight that I had to go through and legit plan every one of my defensives. And normally, like, okay, Celestial Brew, shield, I'll be fine. No. I need that for every hit and dampen harm and diffuse magic and fort brew. Like, it's insane when the raw damage of the physical hit is like 2.2 million and you're like
Ooh.
sure.
Ouch. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of glad I don't tank.
I stare at my 700k health pool going, one of these things is bigger than the other.
So, Kaz, how are you liking the heroic raid?
This has actually been one of my favorite raids so far. There's one boss that I'm not a fan of. I don't like.
Only one?
Yeah, actually, only one. I don't like Skarn. I don't like traps. I don't like it when my space is taken away from me. As a ranged DPS, it's already hard enough to, find the correct spot. But honestly, other than Skarn, I actually think all of the fights are a lot of fun. From a heroic standpoint, I think they're all very fair. I don't think there's any mechanic I've seen so far that I just thought to myself, well, that's a little ridiculous.
Really?
So, how you liking it as opposed to last year?
That's a tough one because I was a very big fan of Vault as well. Radagath was one of my favorite end fights in a really long time.
Yeah, it was definitely a hard fight.
I think Razagath is better than Scale Commander, but I think Avarice overall is probably the better raid.
I would have to agree with you on that one.
I would disagree with you on that one.
Of course you
I
would,
just have a
Jazzy.
heroic, I'm just coming from a
So
heroic mindset.
that's fair. Heroic Razagath, so much better. Like that is a fantastic fight. Mythic Razagath can die in a fire.
Words are hard,
I
Jazzy.
I very much historically dislike fights where one mistake will instantly wipe you. So I can see why Mythic Razagath would be a problem. But on Heroic, besides just missing DPS checks, like if one person dies, you're at least able to keep going.
Yeah. I greatly dislike the binary pass fail mechanics, or even if it's Razagath was one where it wasn't necessarily that it was a pass fail mechanic. It was okay, someone died. Now you can't do the next stuff that you need to do. That's just as bad.
Yes, I
Eh,
very much dislike those kinds of mechanics.
I will say though, I believe, except for Rashok, because Rashok one screw up and you're done. I believe none of the fights really have that. Maybe Scale Commander.
The first boss has that with Kazara. If you don't do the beams by the time the next beams come out, it's a wipe. So if one
So
person is messing up the beam, oh, but I guess though, if somebody dies with the beam goes away. So that's nice.
so this is an interesting dichotomy between heroic and mythic. We've gotten to a point where Kazara is very much farm. on heroic and normal even. And so like my team decides to troll me by running the puddles onto me and not running the lasers through the puddles ever or over me. But we
I
can
don't think it's
heal
a
through.
hard fight. I just think that it has one of those instant wipe mechanics.
But it's not though. It just pulses for a lot of damage, and then my healers get to parse.
Your healers get to parse. I mean, I guess if nobody's taking damage, there's nothing to heal, and there's no parse to be had.
Exactly.
Just tell somebody to go stand in something. Give them something to heal.
Yeah.
Says no one ever.
What about how do y'all like Zakali, the ad fight?
We're handling it pretty well. Yeah. We had a few wipes where ads made it to the door because our tank was preoccupied with the boss and 5 other ads, and a few more ads spawned, and nobody picked them up for the tank. We try and have ranged DPS at least aggro all of the mobs and then run them into the tanks. But other
Yeah.
than that, yeah, no, I like that fight. I like the mystic shield mechanic as a dragon. Anytime I can wail on something at full health, I'm happy.
Wait, you called yourself ranged earlier. Don't lie to me. If you're an evoker, that's not ranged.
It's ranged enough. Ranged
Ranged-ish.
like.
Ranged-ish.
We I'm gonna gloat here for a second
Oh
because
no.
we this past week on Heroic Zakali got our record time of 49 seconds. That's a lot of fun to do.
So
49
I
you
seconds.
don't care about
it
anything.
it
Hero and
doesn't
Zerg
happen.
him down to 20%. He
Yep.
heals back up, but you don't care and you just keep going?
Yep. You have an Arms Warrior Mortal Strike and you just DPS him through the heal. And he doesn't ever jump away. You one tank and you can 1 to 0 heal that fight. And it's done. You don't even go to the wings. You just blast. It's really fun and dumb.
That does sound very dumb. I
But yeah.
guess you're being rewarded for handling the fight uniquely, though. A
Yeah.
lot of the time, stuff like that'll happen and you'll instantly wipe.
Yeah,
Don't tell
sometimes.
Blizzard.
Yeah, right? Fun detected.
No wonder I can never parse on that fight. All the top teams running heroic are, killing the boss in 49 seconds, and we're taking 4 minutes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. Definitely don't bother with the 4-minute thing. Don't do mechanics cause. What have you learned? We
We might
ignore
actually
them.
have to try that because that just sounds like fun.
It is.
Hey, let's do it.
Yeah, blast hero right off the hop. Everybody goes. You can one tank it. You can drop all of your healers. Maybe have a safety paladin or something or whatever you got. Call it good.
I mean, Azrael tanking is basically a DPS by himself.
And Aerie is good enough to be her switching to DPS is not something I would be upset about.
I mean, she's a paladin, so
Oh, so you have a tank, heal, and a DPS all in one.
pretty much, yeah. I mean, Azrael's on a death knight, so
Oh, okay. Never mind then. I thought you said prop pally.
Well, our off tank's a prop alley.
yep.
Ah, oh, okay. I got you now.
Yup. So the new dungeon rotation, what are we thinking?
Are we talking 10.5? Or wait,
Current
current.
dungeon rotation.
What patch are we in? What day is it? Who are you?
I did not want them to bring Neltharian's Lair back for the 18th time, but I am okay with everything else. I really like Alderman, and I really like Freehold and Underrot. And then I like the update to Vortex Pinnacle. I played Cataclysm back when it was current, but once you got any purple gear whatsoever, dungeons were completely irrelevant. So seeing it back in a relevant, tuned up Mythic Plus state has been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm glad they ventured all the way back to Cataclysm. I think Cataclysm's dungeons were actually very well done, and I would love to see some of the end time dungeons because I liked them.
Yeah, I would like to see that too. I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that one though, cause Vortex Pinnacle is the bane of my existence. Those boss fights require so much moving, and I have so little that I can do on the move.
It's not an easy dungeon, but I'm happy that they did it.
I mean, it's nice to see some of the older stuff coming back. Like Neltharian's Lair, I don't mind so much, except for the boss that drops things on your head. But other than that, I don't mind that one so much. The rest of them, not a huge fan of Neltharius, but Underrot surprised me. I expected that one to be way worse than it is.
I think everyone back in Battle for Azeroth spent so much time beating their heads against Underrot that I feel like at this point it's kind of the dungeon's kind of solved.
Yeah.
If you played in BFA, then this Underrot is the exact same as the old Underrot.
It
Not exactly. Where are my Gahoonies?
You're good.
I want my Gahoonies back because pad.
I mean, I kind of liked how they had the commanders. That was probably my favorite seasonal effects.
Which one was that one? Awakened?
I don't remember what it was called, but it was commanders where you could go into the portal thing and skip the
Yeah.
trash.
And make your own skips? Yep.
Yep.
Yep. That's I believe it was Awakened is what they called that one.
I don't remember. That was so long ago.
That made, what was it called? Atoldazar.
Yes.
The Awakened made Atoldazar great. Everything else made Atoldazar terrible. Hot
Yeah.
take.
Yeah. You know which one I'd like to see them bring back? Was it not Mechagon, the one that was in the Zandalar zone that had the mechanical gnome people in it?
Zandalar had mechanical. No,
Yeah,
what?
it was in the same zone as a Toldazar. The gnome one at the beginning. I can't remember what the heck that dungeon was called.
I think you mean Goblin, and that's Motherload.
Yes, that's the one I'm thinking of. Why the heck did I think they were?
Oh
They're
my god, are all short people the same to you?
gnomes, goblins, Volpera. They're all the same.
Eh, I will cut you.
My
Man,
God.
Shay's cutting deep today. What the heck? Yeah, you're just a filthy old goblin. No, man, it's fine.
I didn't say the word
What?
filthy. I did not say the
Eh,
word filthy.
Sure.
So, in other news, we got some other fun things going on. Kaz is having technical difficulties, so we'll give him a minute to get back in here.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'm curious to see what they're going to do when they switch the dungeons out next time.
Yeah, me too. Do we want to speculate on what dungeons we're gonna see? Ah,
Sure. So, do we think they're going to pull back the original 4 from the beginning of the X pack from this current stuff, or you think they're going to mix them up?
um. Ooh. So I don't think we're gonna get a new rotation with 10.1.7 because why would we? Or whatever. What's the next patch? What patch are we in? I don't even know
Or in
anymore.
10.1, I think.
We're in 10.1. So in 10.1,
Maybe, but we might be in 10.15. I couldn't even tell you what patch we're in currently. Hold on.
no,
See if
I'm
we
looking
can.
at my thing, and
You're
it says
looking at your.
10.1.
Okay.
Launcher. Yeah, my
Yeah,
thing.
that's where I was going.
It says 10.1.
No, 10.1, 10.1.05.
Yeah, 10.10 and then 50,000. Okay. Somebody go yell at Zorbit for making the build number exactly right. Um, oh man. Uh, yeah, I don't think the next rotation is going to have all of the first round of 4.
God, I hope not. I'm not looking forward to going back into Ruby Life Pools.
I do think it will have the mega dungeon broken up.
That would be
So
awesome.
that would be 2 of them.
Okay.
But then the other 2
Up in the air.
up in the air. Yeah. Trying to think what were the first ones because I've already shut them out of my mind.
We had Ruby Life Pools.
I would not be
Azure
surprised if they
Vaults.
brought back Azure Vault. People
Algathar
like that
Academy.
dungeon for some reason. I don't think they'll bring back Algathar.
Algathar Academy. And what was the 4th one?
Oh, Onaran Plains.
Yes.
They could bring that one back. So I'd say Vault and Onaran.
We'll see.
That's what I would think.
We will see.
And then add the mega dungeon, and then the 4 oldies though, because they're gonna bring back 4 oldies hopefully.
So what have they been doing? They did one from Legion, one from BFA, 2 from BFA, and then 1 from Cataclysm.
Currently?
Yeah, that's what we currently have, because Nelsair
Yeah.
Polaris Legion, Vortex Pinnacle was Cataclysm, and Underwater and Freehold were BFA.
Yep.
How do we think they're gonna do that part next time?
There are just so many dungeons. I
want
honestly don't know.
You know what? I want to see Waycrest Manor.
Oh,
I
please.
also think they're going to bring back Waycrest Manor.
I
want
hope
to see
so.
that.
I
Okay.
love Waycrest. Waycrest was such a good dungeon. I loved
Everybody
it.
hated it, but it was a great dungeon. I mean, the sisters were a pain in the neck and a half, but
I'm a tank. I don't care. No, it was a great dungeon. I loved Waycrest.
I want to see it come back.
Mostly because the last boss didn't involve me doing anything.
I think they'll bring back Waycrest. I think from Legion they might bring back Darkheart Thicket.
Oh, thank
that
you.
would be a good one to bring back.
And then they might try and go back to Mists and Cataclysm because Jade Serpent and Vortex Pinnacle have been such successes. They might do something like Stormstep Brewery, although that's very linear, so they might not pick that one. But they might do Siege of Nizao or Gate of the Setting Sun, and then from Cataclysm, I mean, they could do any of the End Time dungeons. They could bring back Halls of Origination in Uldum. That's a good one. That one has a lot of variants.
Yeah.
Do we think that they're going to go back even further? Do you think they could possibly bring back a Wrath dungeon?
Dude, that would be
If
awesome.
they do, I think it will be Pit of Saron.
Ooh, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Or, and I know it's linear, one of the Utgards.
Yeah, I could see Utgard Pinnacle.
There's nothing inherently wrong with a linear dungeon. It's just in Mythic Plus, you need trash variety to allow for different routes and different percentages. That's why I immediately went to Pit. But I can see one of the Utgards working well. I could also see maybe Forge of Souls. I think that's a very underrated. Although that's only a 2-boss dungeon, so probably not that one.
Isn't Pit the one where you get chased by the? I'm sorry, spoiler alert for 10 years ago. Isn't the one where you get chased by the Lich King?
That's Halls.
Okay.
That's Halls of
It's gonna hop
Reflection.
in it.
I don't think that one would work out very well. But Pit of Saron is the one where you kill the giant and then you kill the gnome and then the last boss is the Death Knight and his dragon combo. And there's a gauntlet before the last boss, and I think Blizzard likes their gauntlet runs.
I could see that last boss. I could see that last boss in there killing a whole lot of people.
For sure. Even something like which one? An-Kahet, the Old Kingdom.
I like that dungeon.
I think that one would work well in Mythic Plus. I'm not sure about Azul Narub in Mythic Plus. That one's pretty boring. But yeah, I think that if they went back to Lich King, that they definitely have some very enticing options. And I would love to see them go all the way back to Lich King.
Look, hear me out. Shadow Labs on Mythic Plus.
Didn't they add timed dungeons to Wrath of the Lich King Classic, kind of like Mythic Plus. Isn't that a thing that they added?
I don't know. I never played Classic. I can't talk today.
Wait, are you talking classic capital C or back in the day?
No, Classic capital C, like
Oh,
just
I have
now.
no idea. I've never played classic because I was there, so I don't care.
Yeah, right.
I also think that if they wanted to go super far back, they might be able to hit a few Burning Crusade dungeons. Something like Steam Vaults or Slave Pens,
I could go back and
Arcatraz,
do Steam Vaults again.
I mean,
Botanica.
I'm gonna borrow a preach line here and say legendary ring, but also dead mines. Let's go.
I'm
Old
all
Dead
over that.
Mines or new? Because New Dead Mines is Cataclysm, right? So they could do
New
that.
Dead Mines was Cataclysm, yes.
Yeah, new dead mines. I'm talking old dead mines.
He's talking to old Dead Mines, where there was like 11
Oh,
bosses in there?
yeah. Where you have to spend an hour finding your way through the mine, and then you can zone into the dungeon.
I know exactly where to go. I ran that place so many times.
I know the entrance. I have to consult a map to get through it. But then once I'm in dead mines, I'm good.
Look, getting there was half the battle.
Do you think they might be a little bold and go back to Shadowlands and do something newer, like Halls of Atonement or Mists again?
I
It's
don't know
still.
that we're going to see that this soon.
I don't think we're gonna see any Shadowlands dungeons yet. I think they said that they were gonna let the immediately previous expansion rest because that's still very fresh in people's minds. Please don't give me Mists of Turnicide. I no, thank you. It's not even that I dislike the dungeon. I actually like the dungeon, but the no, no, no
Jazz is like,
Shadowlands.
no, not yet. It's still
No,
too soon.
it hurts too much.
They're not ready to rip the Band-Aid off yet.
No.
We would all zone in with our Covenant abilities again, and it would completely throw off the balance of the game.
I mean,
Yes, it
I'd be
would.
perfectly fine having my Phaline Stomp back. It was my favorite ability, and it drove me absolutely insane that everybody said, no, Bastion is the best for Brewmaster. Like, but sucks. And here we are. I still have Weapons of Order right now, and I hate it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The other two monk specs get Phaline Stomp.
I call hacks on that.
Yeah, I'm not okay.
It's different as a heroic raid leader, but my philosophy was literally just play whatever you want, as long as you play it well.
Like that was ours within reason, right? If it was 5% worse, but it was more fun, you end up getting more out of it. Fine, we don't care. It was like 20. I can't justify a 20% deficit just because I like it better. I tried.
So while we're talking about dungeons, we got a stream-a-thon coming up here very, very soon. It's like a month and a half away at this point.
Thought I'm so glad you asked.
I know Team
Oh,
Jellyfish is making a comeback.
of course we are. Always and forever, man.
You running the full 12 hours again?
That's the plan. We'll take off for dinner though,
I
because
mean, food.
Gnome's gotta eat.
I mean, got to do something to keep your energy going.
Yeah.
Harbinger always submits two teams, right? I think we
Uh,
will.
so we had a couple of streamathons where we had two, but Shade was running one of the groups.
That's right.
Harbinger Hammers will be going. We just have to figure out what time we're running. We usually do a couple of hours. So, you have to help me poke them, see if we can get a second team going there, guys.
Yeah, I can definitely try and help out with that. I know
Yeah.
that there's plenty of people in the team, and we have a lot of new blood too. So getting involved might be something that entices the newer members.
Yep. I mean, we've got enough people on the raid team that have tank off specs. So we got plenty of healers.
Must be nice.
What do you mean it must be nice?
Well, okay, so we have some newbies and a couple on Empire that have tank off specs, but in my experience, it's always been, wait, you can tank? Great, you're not doing anything else ever. That's all you get to do forever and always because we always need tanks.
Oh no.
Same thing for healers. Oh, you think you can heal? Good enough, close enough. You're forever a healer.
Forever a
I have
healer.
way too many healers.
And I'm just sitting here like, can I play my mage?
No.
It's just like, please, we need a tank.
No.
Mage can tank.
No. That's not allowed, Jazzy. You have to
Evokers
tank.
can tank.
I can tank for about 2 seconds until my defensive goes off and then I'm dead.
I pull aggro enough times that I might as well be a tank.
But Shay, you got Rocky. Rocky's your bro, man.
He ain't gonna tank a raid boss.
So
Sure.
what's the charity this time for stream-a-thon?
So the charity for stream-a-thon this time is Rise Above the Disorder. They help provide free mental health care for gamers.
It's very important.
Something we can all appreciate.
Absolutely. This is the first time that we've worked with this particular charity. So there's that. We're going to be reaching out to some of the other guilds that we help promote for to see if we can get them to help promote us too. Liquid is one that we usually work with. We work with Oasis. There's a handful of other ones. I'm not remembering all the names off the top of my head. I have a list somewhere. I'd have to find it though. So it is July 29th from 9 a.m. Pacific time to 9 p.m. Pacific time.
All 12 hours.
You have fun with that.
Oh, yeah.
Look, my butt is going to be hurting after a few hours, so I think I did the full 12 hours one time.
Oh, man. I'm pretty sure I've done the full 12 hours every time. But I also have no life, so that helps.
Well, don't think of it as having no life. Think of it as using your life to help those in need.
This is true. I always feel better about helping with charity too. So, and plus it gets my keys done for the week. I mean, it helps other people get their keys done for the week.
I mean, that's a good week to fill your vault.
Yeah, for sure.
So, Shaylei, if somebody listening to this podcast right now wants to sign their key up for the stream-a-thon, what do they do? How do they go about doing that?
So there is going to be a sign-up sheet that's going to be pushed. Typically, they do it either between Tuesday and Thursday of the week of. We will have a link. It'll be put up in the guild Discord. It will be put in a flyer that's going to be all over our guild social media sites. You'll see the link in the comment section of this video. We have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Reddit, and we're also on YouTube. So the links will be there. Sign them up. If anybody in guild is interested in signing up on a team signups will be available soon. I don't have the exact date on that, but that will be put into, I believe Itzy will put it in the featured content channel.
That's usually how it goes.
Is that usually where she puts it?
Oh yeah.
So,
I would say this is definitely featured content.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So I think they're gonna start the goal off at 1,500, which is what they typically started off at. We ended up at over $5,000 for the last one, Jazzy?
I think something like that, yeah.
Yeah, we even had a couple of the team leads that were like, hey, we'll match all donations for the next hour up to, I think the one was like $400.
Yeah.
So we had a couple, I think there was like 2 different team leads that offered that up.
I don't want to speak out of turn, but I believe that somebody was talking to their work as well to do a corporate match.
Hey, you know what? If they can get it going,
Yep. So that'd be
I'm
awesome.
all for it. I'm all for it. Yeah, I think this is, what's this, year 7 that we've been doing them?
Oh no, more than that.
Has it been more than that? Because I think there was only 1 or 2 of them before I took over social media, and I've been doing social media for 6 years at this point.
I'm pretty sure there's more than that because I've been in the guild for well over 7 years, and we've been doing them the whole time.
Maybe. I don't remember. It's hard to keep track. Look, all I know is at this point we've raised over $45,000 for different charities.
All I know is time is a flat circle, also
Yes.
wibbly wobbly, also like a carpet.
Yes.
But no. Yeah, helping, especially gamers. We tend to be little bit more. What's the word? Melancholy, unnecessarily. So anything we can do to help, and mental health is huge on that. So
Absolutely.
I greatly appreciate it.
Yep. Everybody does. I know this particular one, it was picked because it's something that hits close to home to a lot of people in the guild.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's a good cause. Looking
Is.
forward to it. We'll see how much we can raise for them and what we can do to help them out.
For sure.
It's going to be a great time.
It always
Many
is.
dungeons.
It always is. Oh, so we're gonna have somebody very special doing the streaming on the guild Twitch. Not mentioning any names yet.
Oh.
You should know who it is, Jazzy.
Oh, I know.
I don't though, so I'm very excited to see who it is.
You want me to tell you, Cos? Because I'll message you.
Don't spoil it. Everyone will have to tune in on July 29th from 9 a.m. PST to 9 p.m. PST to find out.
Oh, the plug.
I wasn't going to say it in here. I was going to message it to you.
No. Let me get my shameless plug out of the way.
Okay. So, BlizzCon.
Oh,
What are
BlizzCon.
we thinking?
Back in person, right?
Yes,
It is back in person. I went to the last one that they had in person and apparently missed all of my current team who decided to go on their own, but I didn't know they were my current team because they weren't my current team. They were my future team at the time. Again, time, flat circle things. But I am so excited to go.
So we thinking they're going to announce a new WoW expansion at this one?
I would say so.
I mean, by the time it's out, this one will be out for almost a year because it's usually in November, right?
Yeah.
We'll
It's
be
the
in
first weekend of November.
We'll be in 10.2 at the time, right? Or 10.2.5 at least.
Something like that.
I believe either 10.2 will just be coming out or it'll come out just after BlizzCon, but it'll be something along those lines.
They'll definitely announce the next something.
Yeah.
So what are we thinking is going to be the next expansion? Anybody have any ideas?
I'm gonna go with My Little Pony.
Oh
no,
man.
I was so excited for dragons, and I got my wish, and I've been loving every minute of it. So I'm not even gonna speculate at this point.
It's
too
hard
early to tell.
It's hard to speculate when we don't really. 10.1.7 is gonna have a lot of fun lore stuff happening. It's setting up a lot, and I'm here for it. I really want to see what they're gonna do and which direction they're gonna go. But I would not be surprised if it had something to do with a particular yellowish colored dragonflight.
Chromie.
Yeah.
I think that they could do old gods again, but actually do old gods. I feel like a lot of the times they use an old god as the final boss crutch, but I feel like we haven't gotten a legitimate old god expansion yet, so they could do something like that.
I don't know if they'd go with old. I think they would do old god as a hook, but then
Maybe.
follow it up with a void lord.
So, just hear me out on this one. I don't know if it's going to be the next one, but I see this coming at some point.
You're insane.
I mean, that's fair too, but we're not talking about that. So at some point, I think we may see another Scourge related expansion just because now we don't have a Lich King And I don't know how deeply you guys followed the lore towards the end of Shadowlands. I know a lot of people were kind of bored with it when we got towards the end. There's no Lich King currently.
Because
And
the helm. That's right.
there was a comment made. I don't remember who made it, but I remember it being made that the Scourge had started to form little cults and that the Knights of the Evenblade were trying to keep them in order. So I think we may see another Scourge related expansion at some point. I don't know if it's going to be the next one, but I definitely think it's coming at some point. I mean, how off would it be if we see a new Lich King and they bring Sylvanas back for that part?
I mean, you have to. They really put the nails in coffins in Shadowlands for Lich King in any form, really. I mean,
Yeah.
not only did we kill Ner'zhul, how many times now? He's almost as bad as Kel'Thuzad. How many times does it need to die?
I mean,
I
as many
think I
times
would
we need to
just
kill
be bored,
Neltharion.
but I think that would bore me.
You think it would bore you? I think it's coming. Maybe not the entire expansion being dedicated to it, but maybe like a side part of the expansion.
You know, I could see that being, for lack of a better word, the like 10-3-5 distraction.
Maybe.
Right? Like it's 10-3-5, something happened, we need to go take care of it, but the major plot points are still over here, but they're kind of simmering and they're not ready yet. But hey, look, Scourge.
I mean, I think we'll see it in an expansion at some point. I don't know that the whole expansion is going to be Scourge related, but it's coming.
Yeah, I had forgotten that the helm kind of went poof. Again, spoilers for a year ago.
It's been more than a year.
Well, I mean, the storyline concluded about a year ago, right? So
Yeah, but the helm itself went poof at the beginning of Shadowlands.
I guess so. Okay, so spoilers for 3 years ago. My bad.
Okay, BlizzCon. I think
Yeah.
we're going to see a new Diablo 4 expansion with a new class.
What
Because they
Yes.
only launched with 5, and for some reason
Yes.
that felt like not very many.
Dude, they need to bring a Crusader back.
I
I'm
did
never a
very much
fan of
enjoy
Crusader.
Crusader.
I played a Crusader in Diablo 3. They need to bring a Crusader back.
For the same reason I don't like playing a Paladin in WoW, I didn't really like playing a Crusader.
Oh, see, my original WoW tomb was Paladin.
I have an aversion to like lawful good type archetypes. They bore me.
They bore you. So, are any of you guys going to BlizzCon?
If I can get a ticket, you better believe it.
We are probably going to sit this year out because Anduin is still so young. But next year we
He's
are
like an adult and in
definitely
death and everything. What are you talking about?
we're definitely going to keep our eyes on it. I think that
Dude,
might be our big trip for the year, yeah.
let me know. I might try to make it happen.
Yeah, we wanted to go to the next one once they brought it back in person, but this one might be a little too soon. So
Yeah.
we're looking at 2024 BlizzCon.
Let me know. I may join you guys.
If any BlizzCon that I can go to, which if I can, it will be all of them because as much as I generally dislike people, I like BlizzCon.
Hey, you know what? We ought to do an Eternal Kingdom meetup
We
for everybody that
should.
goes.
I know there's a lot of people that's already down there and goes on their own accord. I know what I've done in the past is like my raid team will get a house because it's way cheaper than the hotel and just chill as a raid team. But I don't know if I have enough people this time.
Yeah, getting enough people to warrant that is can be a challenge sometimes.
Depends on the size of the house. You can get some small ones and you're like,
I
okay, I
mean,
just
that's a
need
thing
3.
too. Hey, you know what? Get 10 people in a 2-bedroom house. Who can all bring sleeping bags?
You say that, and California has laws.
It's only going to be for a weekend.
I know, but they frown upon having more occupants than you say for reasons that are dumb to me, but I won't go into.
Alrighty then. So what are you guys excited for from BlizzCon?
Oh,
New
WoW
WoW
expansion.
expansion, new Diablo patch, or I guess Diablo expansion. However they want to phrase it.
You know what?
Add DLC, I guess. Because
Yeah, I think it would be DLC. You know what I'm excited for? The unnamed survival game being named.
The unnamed survival game being named.
They have a new IP that they've been working on, and they just called it the unnamed
Ooh.
survival game. And they've been working on it for about a year. It should be in alpha about the time of BlizzCon. And I believe that they've said
Nice.
that it will not remain unnamed for much longer.
Look, I'm looking forward to whatever they're going to be doing with Diablo and the new WoW expansion.
For sure. StarCraft 3? Huh? Huh? No, that's not happening.
Look, it's so bad. My boss messaged me like a month ago and asked me if I was going to be taking time off in November for a new WoW expansion.
That's where you
I'm like,
go.
they
Not this year.
no, I said that's like every other year. That's not going to be this year because I took time off for Dragonflight. I took a couple of days off.
Took a week.
I took 2 days off and I was coming off of having COVID.
Oof.
I still powered through it though.
I remember that. You were sounding pretty rough there for a while.
Yeah, look, I got it on Thanksgiving. Like I was fine all day until we came home from my mother's house and I took a shower and then I sat down. And like 5 minutes after I sat down, I'm like, nope. I'm like, something ain't right here.
All I'm hearing is Shay is blaming her mother for COVID.
When they announced that Overwatch 2 is no longer getting dedicated PvE support, I very much stopped caring about Overwatch 2. But I would imagine that they'll probably announce something Overwatch 2 related, maybe new maps, new heroes.
I would assume so. But that's kind of like bog standard fare, right? That's like them announcing a new Hearthstone expansion. Like
I never played
it's
Overwatch.
I was very excited for the PvE and for the same reason that I was excited for Diablo 4, right? Something that my wife and I could just sit down on the couch and play together, and it would be, a good way to spend an evening, right? And then they announced that they were discontinuing the PvE for Overwatch 2, and we just immediately stopped caring.
didn't they kind of I'm only barely like keeping track of this, but didn't they kind of sort of roll that back and say, well, it's DLC kind of sort of in the shop that you have to pay for? Is that a thing, or am I misreading something?
I think that they uh, hard canceled the dedicated PvE character progression story mode gameplay that they had originally promised. But I think after the backlash, they probably decided, oh, wait, maybe we should try and at least do something. So I know that in the next Overwatch 2 patch, there is story DLC, but I do think you have to pay for it, which I think is silly.
Yeah, I just pulled up a article here. Apparently, the PvE stuff is $15, which is well, I guess the game is free to play.
The game is free, so I
Okay.
would I would not have been upset about paying for the PvE content if they had delivered on what they had originally promised. And I understand their reasonings behind canceling it. I don't want to really get into any of that, but for $15, this better be like a legitimate game mode and not just a reskinned Frankenstein where Junkrat is, Frankenstein for the 18th time.
Frankenstein.
I for that amount, I would expect it to be like custom maps where you have like storyline objectives where you go through kind of sort of more like a FPS campaign, but very small and truncated for $15. If it's anything less than that, grumble, grumble.
Crumble, crumble,
I will
crumble.
let other people spend $15 and then tell me how good it is.
There you go.
I mean, that's a good way to do it. Wait and see what other people say before you decide you're going to buy it.
So, funny story about Overwatch. I was at the BlizzCon that they announced the original Overwatch. And when the cinematic came on, and I don't know if y'all remember the first Overwatch cinematic. I'm looking at it, just looks like Pixar. Like it looks identical to a Pixar movie. My first thought was, "Oh, they're partnering with Pixar to make a movie."
Starting with Pixar.
Nope. Very wrong.
Oh man.
Okay, I want to talk about Diablo 4 now.
All right,
Yeah,
let's talk
go
about
ahead.
Diablo
Actually
4.
talk about Diablo 4, not just the BlizzCon stuff we were talking about before, but I want to actually
Alright.
talk about Diablo 4.
That works for me. So, what classes are you guys playing?
So I'm playing Necromancer right now, and my wife is playing Druid.
How you
Sorcerer.
liking it? I'm playing a lightning mage.
Yeah.
So I like what they have done with Druid because it feels like a combination of World of Warcraft Shaman and World of Warcraft Druid.
Oh,
Because you have a lot of earth-based spells and a lot of lightning-based spells, but you also have the ability to turn into a wolf and the ability to turn into a bear.
oh,
It's
that's
And I
kind of
pronounced
cool.
burr, but
so
whatever.
it's you can burr and you can kitty, for lack of a better word, right? And you can elemental and you can enhancement. So basically, it's just a really good mashup of two World of Warcraft classes, and so far, I think it's been executed very well.
Couple of other
What
people who are playing Druid, and they really like it.
it kind of got a bad rap from the beta tests, right?
It was
Because
underwhelming, I think.
yeah, but then the developers I think came on like Twitter or whatnot and said, "No, no, no. We didn't let you progress far enough to see how good it is. Trust me, it's good."
Isn't it one of the better classes to play?
Well, there's only 5.
I mean, my husband is over here saying, "Yup."
I'm sure all 5 are viable in their own right.
Hey, lightning mage is fun.
Sorcerer
Lightning
is the
Mages.
most popular, right?
Yeah, they released that statistic. How many? It was a stupid amount. It was like 20-25% of the players were all sorcerers. And
I
then it was split
mean,
amongst the rest of them.
chain lightning build is pretty good.
It's legit.
So I'm playing Necromancer right now, and I'm torn because I want 100 skeletons following me at all times, but they take up spell slots to do that. And so I feel that if I want to actively engage with my character, I have to give up my minions. And if I want my minions, I have to play a much more passive character. And so I'm still struggling right now to find the right balance of the minions that I want to have versus the gameplay that I want to have.
I mean, that's a thing.
My next class is definitely going to be a necro, but just because that just looks like so much fun. It was fun in
I
D3. It's fun in D4.
I don't know what I'm doing. I think I'm gonna stick with my lightning mage for now and wait and see what they put in the first patch or expansion or however it's gonna be. It's Excuse me, my husband corrected me and said season 1.
Eh, Look, if Rita wants to be involved in the podcast, he needs to get in the podcast.
I don't know if it's been fixed for good. I certainly hope so. But the first week that the game was out, I could not play it because I bought it for PS5 and it was crashing my PS5.
You know, I heard
I
so from what I heard, there was something in the game that was causing the RAM in a PS5 to get so hot that it would melt. And then there was a whole big thing with the 30 series NVIDIA graphic cards that was causing it to crash. I have a 2070 and I've had no problems with it, aside from the occasional little lag spike here and there and getting the random disconnect, which I don't think that has anything to do with the graphics card.
We've had multiple people on the Harbinger raid team, though, say that they can't play Diablo because they're worried about it breaking their computer.
Really?
Hmm
Yeah,
And
it's
even
so
my
far it's been
PS5, this $70 Blizzard game is not worth having to replace my $500 PS5.
That's fair.
yeah, I feel you on that.
However, Blizzard put out a stability patch the other day. Knock on wood. So far, we haven't crashed, but who knows?
You better get knocking there, cuz.
You never know until it happens, right? You can say that, oh, this issue's fixed, and then a week from now when it crashes again, well, then, is it a new issue? Was the issue not fixed? Did I just get lucky?
With software, you never know.
Tomorrow for Father's Day, my plan is to wake up, have breakfast, and then play Diablo 4 for 12 hours.
Sounds like a good Father's Day.
I thought we were doing keys in there somewhere.
Well, yeah. I
Sure.
also need to stop for. I have to go to the store. I need to do a key. It's a soft 12 hours.
Soft. Well,
Yeah, I'm gonna play around with it a bit tomorrow. So have you guys beat the story yet?
I
I'm not
finished it
even
this
through Act.
afternoon.
I'm not even through Act 1.
Oh no!
Ooh.
Well, I
Okay.
couldn't play.
Yeah, because he was having issues with the PS5.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
We're.
spoiler alert. Lilith.
You know what? I don't
I
even
know.
see that as a spoiler.
Look, you know how long it took me to notice that Lilith has heterochromia? It took me I was in until Act 5 to notice that.
For those who don't know, and this is not a spoiler, but in Act 5, there's a lot of close-ups of Lilith's
Yeah.
eyes, and it took her that long.
It took me look, there are close-ups of Lilith's eyes in other acts too, and it just took me
You
that
know,
long, and I'm just
like
sitting
the
there and
opening
watching it.
cinematic.
I'm just sitting there and I'm looking at it and I'm like, her eyes are different colors.
My
The
my
the
dog has that.
tutorial cinematic, you know. They buried the lead on that one, Shay. Don't worry.
I mean, so in a lot of early religions, heterochromia was seen as a sign of worshiping the devil,
That tracks.
right? I mean, she basically is the daughter of the devil, so
Well, one of them.
one of them, yeah.
Like, one of the promo things that they released a long time ago for D4 was, like, the family tree of all of hell.
Oh, I
That thing
missed
is
that one.
confusing. It's not a tree, it's a bush.
It's so funny.
Like, I
Oh
don't
my
know, I'll have to
god.
find it and send it to you because it's a lot and ridiculous, and I am no Diablo lore buff at all. Like, I didn't even ever play the first or the second. I
Play
only
Diablo
played
Same.
2.
D3. I didn't play Diablo 2. I only have played
Oh,
D3 and 4.
Same.
I played
So,
Diablo 2 for a while,
no,
and
that
then I
contains the
played
devil, and I
Diablo
wasn't allowed.
3 for a while. And I'm playing Diablo 4 now and I like it.
I know they remastered Diablo 2, so this isn't an excuse, but Diablo and Diablo 2 were before my time. They were popular before I became a gamer. I don't want to say like they're too old for me, but
Thanks for making me feel old.
I was not a gamer when Diablo 2 was popular.
I was, but it contained the devil, so therefore I was not allowed.
You you weren't allowed.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Did you say, no, mom, it's okay, the devil's the bad guy?
She said yes, but I will not have it at my house. I was very sad.
I've been very sad. Look, my parents just didn't care. Like as far as that kind of stuff. Oh, you're gonna play a video game around where the devil's the bad guy. Okay, whatever. Have fun.
My parents
Little
showed me the World of Warcraft episode of South Park, and that's what, like, that is why I decided to start playing World of Warcraft.
Oh my
Okay,
god.
now I feel old
Oh no. Right?
because I watched that live in
Uh-huh.
college.
I was in high school, so don't feel that old.
I I was in
Oh my
my
god.
college dorm.
I feel old.
Hilariously
what year did that
playing
episode?
WoW. That
Oh.
was let's see here. That would be 2007.
Yeah, I've been playing WoW for 15 years, so it was right around 2007. Yeah, 2000. That makes sense.
I distinctly remember being in Ironforge, watching the episode,
Uh-huh.
and trade chat blowing up,
Uh-huh.
saying want to buy Sword of a Thousand Truths.
I've been playing since the beginning. Since 2004.
Yeah. I haven't been playing for quite that long. My friends got me into it, and it didn't really take at first.
I've been playing since the beginning. I actually started playing with my brother. That was a long time ago.
Long, long time ago.
I was in high school.
Oh wow.
Yep. I know I'm saying how old I am.
Bunch of old farts playing this game.
I mean, our guild is 18 plus. There are people in the guild that are older than me. Snow's older than me.
I
Not by
know.
much, but she's older than me.
Palp's older than me, and you better believe we
Is
constantly call him a boomer.
is he older than you?
Oh yeah.
I didn't think he was that old.
He is. He's about 5 years older than I am.
I don't know how old you are.
I am 21.
Oh, he's still a baby.
I am not 21.
You're not 21. I was going to say, if you're 21, you're a baby.
You're reminiscing about 2007, but I'm only 21 years old.
Right?
Oh,
So you went
man.
to college when you were 6 years old.
Yeah, I'm a
Sounds like a
genius. What
good
can I say?
college dorm experience.
Yeah, I was a visiting professor. What
Oh,
what what more do you want from me?
I mean,
No. I am 35.
you're still a baby.
Thanks.
I'm older than you.
I know.
So I'm older than Mark.
So you guys
Okay.
have both finished the Diablo story, right?
Yes.
I finished it this morning.
I finished it a few days ago.
What kind of end game is there in Diablo, and do you guys think it's worth like pursuing after the story?
I
So
don't know. I started recording a podcast.
so you once you finish the main storyline, you're gonna want to go back and do all of the side quests because there are little like side achievements that you get extra points and all from to put into your skill tree.
The renown stuff, right?
Yes. So if you're in the main zone, if you hit tab and then W, it'll open it up for you to claim the rewards from it. So it's kind of similar to the achievement points thing from WoW. But for every so many points you get, you can claim a reward from it. Some of
Like
it's
increased
experience.
potions and stuff, right?
Some of it's extra skill points and all that fun stuff. And
Yeah, we've been trying to keep up on that as we do the story. We're level 31, so even though we're not even done with Act 1, we still have been playing.
Okay, how are y'all doing this? Because
doing
I
what?
got through Act 1, 2, 3, and I was like, all right, sweet, I'm 30.
That's about where I was at, Jazzy. But I also only concentrated on doing the main storyline. I didn't do any of the side
Same.
quests or anything.
That's
So
what
I'm
it
going
is.
back and
We've been the exact opposite. If I see blue, we do.
gotcha.
Every
Yeah,
side quest, every dungeon, every
Okay.
cellar, everything. Plus we're in a group, so we get 10% bonus XP. Plus we have elixirs running, so we get 5% bonus XP.
Okay, that's fair.
yeah, but
So
so you've got strongholds to do.
we've
You'll
done
get
2 so far, yeah. Those have
so
been
you'll
fun.
have the Tree of Whispers things where you get the nightmare sigils and you can go do the nightmare dungeons and you have the hell tides that you can go do. There's a lot of stuff that you can still do.
That's good because I know that in these kinds of games, it's just like WoW, right? After you beat the story, Blizzard definitely wants you to come back and keep playing. So
The
I was
nightmare
just
dungeons
wondering if it
scale
was
up.
worth it.
You can they start at level 1, which is like level 50, and then every level you go up, the mobs go up a level. So you can keep knocking the level of them up, and the difficulty gets higher and higher. Plus, they have different abilities in them. Like I don't remember what any of them are called, but I think there's one where the mobs will be in a barrier, and you have to be inside the barrier with them to damage them. But there's different affixes on them, and you can see what it's going to be with the Nightmare Sigil.
Okay, so that's the equivalent of Mythic Plus, kind of.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm excited to eventually get there now that I can actually play the game.
Yeah, it's
It was
there's
rough.
a lot to do.
We would sit down for a half-hour play, and then the PS5 would crash, and then we'd get nervous, so we'd let it, sit there for an hour. We'd come back, play for a half hour, the PS5 would crash.
That sounds so sad.
It
Feel
was
bad for
it
them.
was annoyingly
Right?
consistent, yeah.
I feel bad for them. Look, we all went over. We made a guild or harbinger in Diablo 4, and you can tell who has a series of graphics card or a PS5 that crashes. And then you have people with the 20 series NVIDIA cards who are perfectly fine.
I mean, I've had the exact opposite experience. All through beta, I didn't even have a login queue. On this, it's been running perfectly fine. No crashes. Everything's all golden. So I like feel bad that I'm having such a good experience with it because
Yeah,
I hear of people not.
See, the thing is that from what we have been able to play, it's been such an amazing game. It's just so frustrating when you set aside time in your schedule and sit down and actually want to all right, I'm gonna do the next story quest, or I'm gonna go, kill a boss, or I'm gonna clear this stronghold, and mid combat, you just crash. You're done. Game over.
Oh, that's rough.
yeah, that sucks. I was getting ticked off yesterday. I was doing a hell tide and I kept getting disconnected. And every time I logged back in, I was dead. And I lost half of my little shard things. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm done with this. And I went back to town and I logged off.
Well, and you see people who are losing hardcore characters over these technical issues, and it makes you just feel a little concerned that this game has things that are permanent, and yet the game itself can't handle these systems that they're trying to implement.
What I'm
The most
talking about are specific to hell tides. So you pick them up off when you kill mobs. And then there are chests that have gear in them that you spend the shards on. But if you die, you lose half of the shards that you picked up. So it's
the,
not like you're losing anything that's going to be like, it's not like you're losing your character, you're just losing part of the currency for the event.
Right, and for your experience, that I'm glad you're not losing your character, but I read one recently. Somebody finished a dungeon, like beat the end, opened the chest, hit return to town. They, the cast bar went off. They returned to town. They disconnected mid travel back to town, and when they logged back in, their character was in the Hall of Fame. They died in the loading screen. And this
Oof.
is
Oh,
I think it was a level 91 hardcore character. This is somebody
oof.
that somebody has spent hours, days working on to lose in a loading screen. It just feels like, I mean, if that
Yeah.
was me, I would stop. I would uninstall. I would never play the game again.
I
I'd
feel
probably go
like
sit in the corner and cry.
I feel like they should have some level of recourse with Blizz.
I agree.
Blizz might have restored. I don't know, but
Okay.
from what I read, this was not the only instance of somebody losing a hardcore character due to a technical bug. If you
They lose
lose
it,
your
they should
hardcore
get it
character,
back.
if you lose your hardcore character because you pulled too many things, you forgot to heal, you hit the wrong button, that's fine. That's the point of hardcore. But when you start a hardcore character, get, upwards of through the entire game with them, start doing these hard end level content with them, and then die due to essentially a bug, it just feels like your time's being wasted at that point.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
think Blizzard needs to really focus on the technical aspect of Diablo 4. You read all these patch notes with like balance changes and all this stuff, and it's like that's not what's important right now, Blizzard. Like,
no, fix the game before you worry about that stuff.
so I'm optimistic because they released that stability patch and I haven't crashed since. And if Diablo 4 can stabilize, I think it will be a fantastic game. But I'm worried that we're getting a little Cyberpunk 2077 with it, where by the time they actually do fix it, nobody cares anymore.
Oof. Yeah, I hope not. I hope
Hope
they do
not.
get it sorted
Uh,
ASAP.
so do I, because it's a good game. Like the storyline is great.
It is fantastic. Highly recommend. I
Uh,
I I don't know if I told this story before, but actually the last BlizzCon that I went to, they had Diablo 4 Alpha on computers there. I played it at BlizzCon in its alpha state, and it was wonderful. They did a fantastic job. And then they've spent the next 2, almost 3 years just working on it, polishing it, making it better, making the storyline better. So it's been great, but to have these technical issues is just it sours the experience.
yes, it does. I wish they dumped that kind of love into a WoW expansion.
They do.
They do. It
We can't
just
say that they don't.
They might
they
at the beginning, but then they dropped the ball on it.
the the issue I'm gonna throw this a little hot take. Fair warning.
Oh,
Data mining has screwed us over.
Hard agree.
yep.
Hard
We
agree.
we don't experience things as new anymore. We experience them, when they go live the 7th time we see them. And that's when they go live finally. Like we see icons and assets when they don't have anything linked to them. We get chat text and quest text before we even know the quest line that they're in. And so, like, we can't be surprised. We can't be, our expectations can't be subverted at all because we know exactly what's going to happen, but we have no context for it. But just adding context to events that we already know happen isn't enough of a payoff.
I have a story that is very similar to that. I played one of the Pokemon games after I had watched an entire Japanese playthrough of the game, and it was the most boring Pokemon game I've ever played. So for the next new Pokemon game, I removed myself from the internet. I saw zero spoilers. I went out of my way to avoid everything. Saw this new Pokemon game with all the new Pokemon, all the new evolution methods, all the new gyms, everything fresh with just from scratch. And that was the single best experience I've ever had playing Pokemon. So I absolutely agree with you.
Don't get me
Reasons why
wrong.
I don't play stuff on the PTR.
Don't get me wrong. I thoroughly appreciate everything Wowhead does. I give them money mostly because I hate their ads, but also they do good work, and I don't want that to come across as the problem. They're doing their job and they're doing what people ask them to do, and they are fantastic at it. Just this is a philosophical problem of FOMO.
You can see it in the race to world firsts.
Yeah,
How long did this
exactly.
race last? 3 days? 4 days?
Something like
Once
that, yeah.
once they finally got into Mythic, yeah, it was
Like
only about 3 days.
Sakureth did not survive the reset, did he?
Nope.
Yeah, it's because all these guilds that have been racing for World First obviously put in a ton of time and effort, and I'm not trying to belittle their accomplishments, but they are the ones that are doing the testing on PTR, the testing on beta, the testing on right. They're the ones going into the raid. It might be a quote unquote new raid, but it's not for them.
That's what's one of the things that's frustrating is when we the community see Liquid, Echo, Method, uh, name Fat Shark, yes, go in and like one shot the first few bosses. That's not a one shot. They saw those bosses probably about 10, 15, 20 times before on PTR, on during the raid test. So this is not new to them. They just figured it out and executed quickly.
Yup.
So yeah. Data mining, hot topic.
Yay.
Yay!
Fun times. All right.
That,
So
that stream-a-thon we have coming up.
yeah.
You
Looking
mean the one
forward to
on
that.
July 29th from 9 a.m. PST to 9 p.m. PST?
That
That's the
one
one.
supporting Rise Above the Disorder. So good. It's almost like
That's,
Rage Against the Machine, except Rise Above the Disorder.
we'll have to see if we can beat our goal, beat what we made the last time.
Oh, gauntlet thrown down.
We should. Hey, you know what? We've done it before. I'm sure we'll do it again.
Haven't we done it like every year?
I think so. Yeah. I think everyone has raised a little bit more money than the previous one. So
Yeah. Let's keep it up.
keep it up. All right. With that being said, Kaz, thanks for joining us. Jazzy, always a pleasure.
Always.
Thank you for having me. This was a lot of fun. It's nice to talk WoW and Blizzard and all things that I love.
Aw, and Jazzy.
And
Jazzy.
Jazzy.
All right, guys, it's been fun. So this has been another episode of Roundtable Report. We'll see y'all next time.
See ya. Thanks, y'all.
Bye, guys.